Alright, this is Resident Evil 4, as I mentioned before. This category is New Game Plus. Basically, that means that we will be beating the game with a previously completed file, which allows us to have inventory at the start of the game we wouldn't normally have. And as you can see right now, I'm using the Striker shotgun, which is really fun shotgun to use, but we're not going to be using it for what it's intended for. We're going to be using it to make Leon run abnormally fast, as you can see. He's running way faster than he normally would. So the glitch I'm using here is called the Ditman glitch. What happens is when you aim the Striker and then equip another weapon, it will cause Leon to move about 1.5 times faster for some reason. And this affects not only his movement speed, but his ability to climb certain things, the firing of his gun, or his gunfire speed, as well as his reloading speed, but you're not going to see the reloading speed happen in this run. The nice thing about having it this early on is we're not going to use it because it's a good shotgun. Like I said, it's mainly for Ditman, and we're going to be doing that a lot throughout the run. So first things first, I need to get the village section cleared. This is I messed up my inventory. I first need to focus on this real quick, so just give me a second here. I'll explain what happens afterwards. Got him. That should work. Alrighty, and that's the village. So normally in a casual playthrough, that takes people a long time. With this, what I did was I triggered the first wave of enemies by killing the first two in the village, and then firing the infinite rocket launcher to kill that wave to spawn the next one, and then killing that one. And I did damage to myself because this game has a dynamic difficulty system on this difficulty, which is normal. I'll explain that a little more in detail when it's actually necessary, but yeah, so anyways, like I was saying, New Game Plus is going to have a lot of weapons you wouldn't normally see in a new game run, or just in general for a casual playthrough. The Striker's obviously there for Ditman. I use the infinite rocket launcher, which is a very self-explanatory weapon. And I also have a couple other ones I'll explain when I get to use them. The next one I'm actually going to be pulling out is the Chicago typewriter. Oh, shoot. Alright, there we go. The Chicago typewriter is a machine gun that has unlimited ammo. It's really powerful, but the main reason I want to use it for a lot of things is because it aims really quickly. So you'll be able to take things that are in front of you relatively fast, like this lock, for example. And so almost at the end of this. This was not a very good start to the run, I don't think. It was kind of messy, but anyway, so that's the first chapter of the game. Oh, by the way, a common theme you're going to see in this game is QTEs, unfortunately. It's kind of lame, but this run is very different from the previous Resident Evil games being run earlier. Mostly, hold on, come on. Mostly because this is a more action-oriented game than it is survival horror, and there's a lot more glitches. And of course, this has a New Game Plus feature, which other Resident Evil games don't really have until later on. So the main thing here, we have to collect these two pieces. So hopefully we're going to get through this without getting hit. That would be really nice, so I don't lose Ditman. Alright, so that's really good RNG right there. One other thing is that enemies are pretty random in this game. Normally in New Game Plus it's not a huge thing. It's more of a problem in New Game, but in New Game Plus there's a lot of ways around it. Which is usually just being able to move really fast around it, because when you're using the Ditman glitch, enemies are not going to be ready to, anticipate Leon moving at Mach speed, because that's just not how the game was programmed. Anyways, I'm also playing with keyboard and mouse, which is... Oh, what am I doing? I'm playing with keyboard and mouse, which is something that not many people do. Most people stick with controller because everybody who's run Resident Evil before has probably played it on a console and used a controller. I use keyboard and mouse just because of what I'm used to. There's no, real benefit or disadvantage to it. Alright, so coming up here is another really interesting little thing in this game. I'm going to open this door right at the right time. So, there's a little thing with this game called God frames. These are what happen when you do things like open doors, do go to specific animations. Oh, I forgot to Ditman. I hope he doesn't hit me. So, yeah, God frames basically allow you to not take damage or get staggered by anything when they happen, so I did it there to prevent the explosion that happened behind me from staggering me. Just a small little time saver there. Another thing that you're going to see commonly happening throughout this game is fast puzzle solving like this. I should also, while I'm talking about fast things, I'm playing this game at 60 FPS. Anyone who's seen a previous, or a Resident Evil 4 run on another console has probably seen a couple of different what am I doing? A couple of different glitches in the game. You won't be seeing them in this category because 60 FPS prevents you from doing certain glitches. But the reason I do 60 FPS is because overall it's still faster. Plus I just like how it looks and how it feels. And yeah, so the route there's going to be a little bit of a route difference in certain areas of the game. Oh shoot, I got hit by the scythe. That's unfortunate. So there will be. I will make sure to mention the spots in particular some people may be familiar with certain glitches. Another thing about 60 FPS, Carcinogen mentioned it when he was playing Remaster. Enemies are a lot more aggressive in this game at 60 FPS because the game was not really like made to be played at 60 FPS. So the thing with the enemy aggression in this game is not so much that they will act more aggressive per se. It's just they're far less predictable. And there's also certain attacks enemies will do at 60 FPS that are significantly harder to dodge than they are at 30. By the way, that's the merchant. We're never going to talk to him again, unfortunately. Because as you can see, we're already, completely armed and ready to take out an entire nation right now. Alright, also I should mention, the fun thing about Resident Evil 4 speedrunning is that runs will either... there's two particular sections of the game where the runs can die just out of nowhere, which are the very beginning and the very end. So once we get past this first, roadblock, which is Chapter 1-3, everything else is going to be pretty decent up until the very end of the game, where we have one particular section that's very RNG heavy. Alright. Take a drink of water while I'm doing here. This is the real benefit of playing keyboard and mouse. You can actually multitask. You only need one hand to move, which is pretty nice. So you can drink water or check Facebook or something like that. So that's pretty cool. And another Boulder QTE because one wasn't enough for this game. By the way, I say that I play primarily keyboard and mouse. There are a couple sections I'll be doing with this game with a controller because some of them are just really hard to do on keyboard and mouse. Those are usually certain QTEs where you have to mash really fast, as well as one particular section coming up that has really bad controls on mouse. Oh. Come on, blow up that stupid tripwire. Can you believe it? A guy's firing a rapidly firing 50 caliber machine gun and can't hit a tripwire. That's insane. Anyways, so now we're gonna come up on one of any Resident Evil 4 speedrunner's favorite parts of the entire game, which is this boss, which is really fun casually, but for a speedrun he's terrible because he's super random. I mean, there are certain patterns you can recognize that he does, and you can try and accumulate them, but if you're trying to go for a really good time, you don't want to deal with him when he has a bad AI pattern. So this is one of the sections I'm going to be... Oh, I lost control of my boat. Wonderful. This is Del Lago. And I mentioned difficulty adjustment earlier. The reason I damaged myself at the beginning is so that this boss fight will take less time because his health is going to be lower at lower difficulty, and I just missed a spear. That's wonderful. I'm going to kind of focus on this section because it's very, very easy to mess up. Alright, please don't dive. Please don't dive. Please don't dive. Please. You don't. God darn. Wow. The one thing I don't want to have happen. Like, it's not a big deal because I missed a couple of spears anyways. Like, this isn't, like, super annoying. If you're, like, on really good pace and you hit every single one of your harpoons, it's annoying when he does this, but it's, like, whatever here. Oh, I missed. Wonderful. This is even better. Alrighty, so hopefully this goes okay. Don't die. Oh, I missed. Wonderful. This is going to set back a little more. Oh, whatever. Come on. One more. There we go. Okay. So that was pretty okay. It was pretty bad, actually. I'm not going to lie. We got to do this cutscene real quick before Leon drowns. It's actually one of the easier QTEs. You don't actually have to mash that fast compared to some other ones. Alright, so now we're on to Chapter 2, which is the second half of the village section. This is where some interesting things get introduced. Alright, so this is also the first instance of the Plagas, which isn't really something you're going to really deal with here in this game, which is that nasty thing that just came out of his head. It's actually apparently the thing that's causing all these zombie-like things to happen all over the country. Anyways, the weapon I just equipped right here is the Clogus laser removal, and let me just shoot it just to show you what exactly this weapon's like. Yeah, you get this weapon for completing pro difficulty, and thank goodness, because playing it casually is really hard. But that gun has 2 modes of fire. One will flash and stun enemies in front of you. The other one, if you charge it, will shoot everything that's remotely shootable within like a certain radius. And anyone, as I said before, may recognize that there's a section here where you can do a glitch that allows you to skip this section, but you're not going to be able to do it at 60 FPS, unfortunately. Maybe if I have time afterwards, I'll show it off, but we'll see what happens. Alrighty, we just kind of got to get through these guys. Hopefully they're not too random. Okay, good. That's great. Alright. The other thing about 60 FPS in the Steam version in general is that the load times for this game are incredibly fast, so menus are really quick. So if you lose a Ditman, it's not as detrimental in this version. Or if, you know, your menuing's a little off, it's not as big. It's also a little faster than it is at 30, which makes 60 so much faster than 30, honestly. Alright, so now we're about to go fight the Gigante. This is a boss fight. A lot of people who've played this game casually probably remember. It's a pretty fun boss fight, actually. But I should also warn you that this is also a very difficult boss fight on this category. Anyways, so that was the Gigante. It's funny because, you know, you're using the infinite rocket launcher. That seems really cheap, but if you do it in New Game Pro anyways, you're going to buy a rocket launcher and kill him with one anyways, so. One thing I have been messing up a little bit when I'm doing this is another important thing for Resident Evil speedrunning in general, which is menuing. You don't want to menu when you don't have to, so like part of the routing for this game involves, you know, being able to use the menu when you absolutely need to and multitask with it, stuff like that. Prepare for certain other sections of the game when you can. It's one of the more interesting things about Resident Evil speedrunning in general. Not specifically so much this one, but just in general. Alright, so now we have this puzzle right here. Oh, shoot, I accidentally slipped my finger. Oh, well, that's not a big deal. Is that the right one? Okay, yeah. Sorry, my hands are really cold, so mashing this button's a little hard. I know that sounds like a really terrible excuse, but it's honestly why I'm having such trouble right now. Alright, so this is Ashley, by the way. She's wearing a suit of armor. Just ignore that. So, the main reason, you know, I've used Special Costume 2 isn't just because Leon looks super swag in his outfit. It's actually because Ashley's wearing that armor, and it's really useful. Because while Ashley's wearing this armor, she will not take any damage, and she can't be carried away by enemies. But I will warn you, the one downside to this is you have to hear this horrifying clanking noise the entire time you have to deal with Ashley. And it's awful. Oh yeah, and you also have to listen to her say things, which is, oh god, unbelievable. And, what was I going to say about this? Oh yeah. The other thing I should mention about Ashley is, when I do the Ditman glitch, Leon moves really fast. Ashley can't keep up with Leon when he's Ditmaning, so you won't be seeing me really do it with him when I have Ashley tracing behind us. It's a waste of time, because you have to end up waiting on her. I will say, Ashley's kind of annoying, but not the most annoying escort mission in Resident Evil, in my opinion. Unless you're playing on pro difficulty, then it's a whole different story. But Sherry Birkin takes the cake for most annoying escort. In case you didn't catch Fierce Kyo's Resident Evil 2 run, it's a real pain in the butt. Alright, so we're just going to try and get through this section here. We want to flash in here just because it stuns the enemy in here, and it's just going to make it so that Ashley won't get captured when she heads up this ladder. I also forgot to mention one thing about my inventory is I have a ton of grenades. A lot of them are flash grenades. They are very useful to dealing with enemies and making it so you don't have to deal with their randomness. Oh, that's weird. Alright, whatever. Oh, there we go. Alright, I want Ashley to wait here because I have this looming sense of danger up ahead. And one thing that I also didn't mention is that there are certain things where Ashley doesn't have to be with you in order to progress the level, and those are usually like triggers like this. Oh, hold on. So this is the cabin section. In New Game, this section really sucks because it's really random. It's fun, but it's really random, and you can lose a lot of arbitrary time because of it. In this section, we're just gonna fire the infinite rocket launcher back and forth between windows because that's more fun. So what happens is we're firing out the window as soon as like other enemies start spawning. It just basically kills as many as we can really quickly. And it's most effective to do this with the rocket launcher versus like the PRL or anything like that. So we're just going to do this a few times. Alright, there we go. That was the cabin section. Okay, so now we're going on to 2-3, which is the last chapter in the village section. I gotta focus here. Alright, so we want to make sure we select the right side rather than the left, because this is the fast way to get through this part of the game. The left section, I don't really know if there's even anyone who's ever even attempted to route it. This section, however, there's another Gigante. And, you know, we could kill him really fast with the rocket launcher, but we're just going to run through this entire section without worrying about him. But we do need to grab this key real quick. Alright. And we're using grenades just to blast all these chains off at once. In new game, you would just use the knife. Alright. So that's done. Alright, so now we're going on to another section that really emphasizes difficulty adjustment, which is this little railway we're going to ride all the way to the fight with Chief Mendez. Unfortunately, we just got to slowly walk over there. We can't just dip him. So what's going to happen is I'm going to look like I'm really bad at this game, but I'm going to be intentionally taking damage. So hopefully the enemies cooperate. On 60, for some reason, enemies will just sometimes miss when they throw their hatchets, and that's really annoying. Alright, like that, for example. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted you to do. How did you know what I wanted for Christmas? Alright, that's... Alright, so that's exactly what I needed. Alright, hold on. Alright, so we're going to now heal up real quick. Okay, it's almost there. Okay, cool. Okay, that should be... I'm going to go ahead and be safe, though. I'm going to take one more hit of damage if I can. Nope, never mind. Alright, whatever. This should be fine. I think I got hit enough times. Alright, you need to get hit 6 times to properly adjust the difficulty. And I'm just going to start shooting into the wind because it's fun, and I also need to lower my accuracy to make the game think I'm bad. But when you do things like that, take damage, have bad accuracy, the game will adjust the difficulty accordingly because the game thinks that you're really bad at this game. So it's like, obviously, you need the game to be a little easier for you. So that's one of the neater things for running New Game Plus, is the normal difficulty and the difficulty adjustment aspect. But we got a little bit of a walk to tackle here before we fight Mendez, who is the chief of the village, by the way. The big cheese! Exactly. This clanking is so annoying, like, really. Wait. Alright. So we're gonna dip in all the way over there. This is another trigger we don't need Ashley for. Normally, like I said, if you need... There's certain doors where Ashley needs to be right next to you, otherwise it says you can't leave Ashley behind. And there are some where you can just leave her behind anyways and everything's fine. Like that, for example. Alright, so this is Mendez, say cheese, and one more time just because I think you blinked. Alright. That was Mendez. That was the boss of the village. That just again shows how broken the PRL is, because the primary fire of it will kill the boss instantly. There are a couple bosses, though, where you don't want to actually use that weapon. It's more optimal to use something else. Alright, I think while I'm walking, I'm just going to check Twitter real quick.
I would like to remind... Hold on, am I loud? Alright, I would like to remind you our next donation incentive is the reverse mains tournament, where players will switch mains.
That sounds like it'll be fun, so everybody should donate for that. Donate for it anyways, just because you know it's going to a good cause.
We're gonna have like Ice Climbers and Luigi. It's gonna, we're gonna make like West Balls play Luigi.
That's gonna be so jank. It's gonna be great.
I know.
Alright, so we're coming up onto the end of the village section. We just got one last thing to do, and then we get to go into Castle, which is the longest portion of the run. So let me just get here. And we're going to use the conveniently fallen eyeball out of Mendez's corpse to open a door, because, you know, we picked up an eyeball, it's obviously got to be useful. I don't know about you, but I just pick up random eyeballs on the floor. I think I might use it one day. Alright, so now there's a truck coming at us for whatever reason. This is a gimmick that they use in one section in particular. It's really dumb. Oh, hold on. So, we're just going to leave Ashley behind so we can get to the end of this section. You hear these screams of terror, don't worry, she's going to be fine. Alright, so that is the end of Village. Now we're going on to the castle section of the game. Like I said, this is the longest portion of the run. There's a lot of really interesting sections, I guess you could say, for them. Like, every little chapter is kind of broken up into parts. Like, for example, we have this first section here. We're going to be doing what we refer to as Cannon Rush. I almost discarded the PRL. That would have been awful. What we want to do is we want to get to a cannon. The thing we have to do here is we have to rush past all these artillery and fire a cannon into the wall to get to the next section of castle. What's interesting about this is if you do it fast enough, when you fire the cannon, it will actually despawn every single enemy in the room. And since I'm running with Ditman, I don't have to worry about ever getting hit by these artillery things. So we're just going to run straight to this. And if Ashley... Oh, what? Oh, shit. I made a huge mistake. I regret everything. That was really bad. I was so focused on talking, I didn't think about that. Alright, so normally if you're not being silly like me, you would want to charge the PRL before you start cranking. But it's really late at night, and I'm running on 4 hours of sleep, so you'll have to bear with. Alright, so now the cannon just blew away the wall, so every enemy just kind of gave up all hope and just despawns off the map, including that guy that was right next to me. I actually am really lucky he didn't decide to hit me. Seriously, how did I forget to do that? That was such a small thing, but it's so important not to do. You'll have to mind my language, I apologize. That was just out of nowhere.
On purpose for difficulty adjustment.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so now we're going to do this little sword puzzle, another little small thing we can do. We're going to leave Ashley up here. Well, guess we're not. Ashley's coming with us, apparently. I don't know what happened there. Alright, so... hopefully this isn't going to cause problems. Actually, I'm going to be safe since I missed my key, apparently. Okay, that's good. Good RNG. Alright, that was unfortunate. I messed up. I missed my key to make Ashley wait, which is unfortunately a downfall to playing on keyboard. You have a bunch of keys you need to, you know, manage. Alright, so this section here, normally it's any lower frame rate than... okay, this is bad. I'm actually going to pick up a green herb here for safety. I'm also apparently going to pick up 500 pesetas and handgun ammo. That's going to be really useful. Alright, so... hopefully this isn't going to problems. This one section is kind of annoying because it's a little bit luck heavy. Whether or not certain enemies get through this door or not. Oh, well, even with those mistakes, we're going to just kind of... pardon me, sir. I wanted the enemies to be conveniently enough so I could just dip them through the rest of the room, but unfortunately they were all kind of clustered at once, so I had to kick them. Doing that kick animation is one of those things that ends Ditman, so you have to resume normal walking speed. Or running speed, I guess, at this point. I'm so used to running at Ditman, everything else feels like it's walking speed to me, so... Alright, so now we're going on to this little section here. This is actually going to introduce a new enemy to the game, which is really not a threat at all. It's kind of, they're kind of tricky to deal with in a new game, but we don't have to worry about that because we have really powerful weapons. It's actually pretty fun when you fight them in New Game Pro. But it also is stressful if you miss one of your shots. But like I said, we don't have to worry about that today. Alright, this is the Garrador. And he's kind of an interesting enemy, but we're not going to be able to see much of him. Garradors are actually a huge pain to deal with in pro difficulty because they'll start like juggling you back and forth and they'll kill you ridiculously fast. Alright, so difficulty should adjust properly. Alright, it did, sweet. So this is Waterhall. This part is really annoying, especially if you get bad RNG like that. Oh, there we go. I couldn't have done anything about that. I missed one thing, and it's whatever. Look, crying for Leon's not going to bring him back, okay?
on a more positive note, we just broke $4,000.
All right, that's what's supposed to happen right there, by the way. I messed up my positioning, though. You're able to run past them, and Ashley's armor totally prevents her from taking damage, so they're just kind of swinging at nothing. I kind of expected that to happen, to be honest. But it's not a big deal. It's like really small time loss. Alright, so I'm going to be a little safe here just because I don't want to deal with annoying enemies. I'm going to be blinding them with the PRL. Okay, I thought Ashley was going to get scared. Sometimes Ashley will get scared of really dumb things like unconscious enemies, because apparently that's terrifying. Oh, please, Ashley, Ashley. Okay, you know, I'm actually not going to take any risks here. Normally you would want Ashley to, you know, be basically your metallic meat shield to protect you from attacks, but sometimes that just doesn't happen. I was a little concerned with Ashley's position, so I just flashed him for safety. This waterhole hasn't been exactly the best section. This actually is a really, really difficult thing to do on pro difficulty. Or at least casually it is. It's still pretty hard on speedrunning anyways, but there's some pretty cool tricks with it. Alright, this next section is really, really slow and you can't speed it up. Ashley's going to turn a crank and I'm just going to destroy every single Illuminados in this castle. By the way, that's what these guys are called, the Illuminados. Not to be associated with the Illuminati. So I'm just going to be more... If you didn't see how ridiculously broken this weapon is, this should also give you an idea of just what it's capable of. Also, shoutouts to Leon, like, violently shaking as he's holding this thing while it's charging. Oh, wow. That was weird. That's not a big deal, though. Yeah, this section's not particularly interesting. You unfortunately have to wait on Ashley to crank platforms all the way, and you can't speed it up. So in the meantime, just for safety, I'm going to go ahead and collect this first aid spray here. Because you don't lose any time anyways getting it, because, you know, Ashley's too busy turning cranks. And I've basically killed any enemy that's could possibly grab Ashley at this point. So now it's really just waiting. I guess while I'm waiting on this, I should also give big shoutouts to the Resident Evil 4 community. They're a really, really cool group of people. Very, very helpful. I'm not the best at this game right now, but they're very much helping me, you know, improve. They're really, really nice people. So shoutouts to people like Audio7, Ari Snow, Outrage, all really cool people who've helped me out quite a bit. Also shoutouts to some of the new game runners like JTB and Pharaoh, two people that are really, really nice people that have been really nice to me. But anyways, we're at the end of this chapter, thank God. I really don't... If this chapter starts going badly, it just tends to spiral out of control, which is awful. And this is the one beneficial spot to clanking. 6, 7, 8. You can count Ashley's footsteps to see how far behind she is, so you can open the door as fast as you can. Alright. And so that's that chapter. So now we're going on to 3-2. This introduces another new enemy to the game, which is my least favorite enemy in the entire game. They're called Novistadors. They are insects, and they are just ridiculously random and super hard to deal with at times. Two sections in particular aren't that bad, but there is one section later on in the castle that's just really hard to deal with. One thing I'm doing, by the way, is I'm using this trick where if I look away from them using the like face the camera a different direction, they won't, for the most part, they won't, like, do leaping attacks at you. If you, like, try to do it while they're initiating a leap attack, they'll still get you, but that's just there to help deal with getting around them effectively. Alright, so now we've drained the water. Alright. Oh, wow, see, that's what I'm talking about. These guys are really, really random. So I gotta be careful. I'm not gonna bother Ditmaning again because it's gonna waste time. One thing about the Ditman glitch is, despite the fact that it does make you move faster, you don't want to just do it everywhere because it does take time to set up. So you gotta figure out the places where it's reasonable to set up Ditman and move fast enough so that it compensates for the time you lose. And of course, this wouldn't be, you know, a dangerous castle without swinging the axes somewhere thrown into the equation. Alrighty. So coming up here, we have another little small interesting thing you can do. If you throw a flash at all these guys and blind them, you'll actually skip triggering a cutscene. This is an intended thing, but if you kill all those guys, they give you like jewels and stuff, and they give you a lot of money, but I just do it so I can run past them really quickly. Alright, so now we have this room. We have to kill that red zealot to get a key to progress further. And there's actually a pretty interesting strat. There are a number of interesting ways to do this section, but we want to kill the red zealot as fast as we can, which is that red guy, by the way, in case you couldn't tell by the name. Oh, I messed up my inventory. That's fine. So we're going to blind these guys so they just don't get in the way. And the red zealot thinks he can get away, but we're just going to tell him that he needs to stay still. Alright, so now that the red zealot's dead, we need to collect that key. Normally you would want to chase him. Well, you wouldn't want to. It sucks doing it, but what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to chase him, and eventually he gets into a turret, which is conveniently placed in the middle of this castle. And then you kill him there, and you don't want to do that because that's time-consuming. And this puzzle, by the way, is deceptively easy. Literally, the solution is 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. So now we have this section. This is one of those sections where, if I'm not... Oh, God. By the way, scythes I forgot to mention. Enemies with scythes that are that big, they have some really weird aerodynamics when they throw them at you. Like, sometimes they will just throw them and it will go behind them. It's really weird. But you gotta be careful with this section because scythes do a lot of damage. And if your health is low enough, they'll kill you instantly. Well, not instantly. I shouldn't say that. It won't kill you instantly, but it will kill you pretty fast. And there's a little bit of randomness if they're, like, crowd you, so you gotta be careful with that. That's why I equipped the Chicago typewriter, just in case there's enemies in front of me. Allows me to shoot them out of the way. Oh, wow, that was really lucky. Yeah, the biggest thing with the enemies that grab you is at 60, like I said, enemies are really unpredictable, so you gotta really sometimes hope that they don't lunge at you, because sometimes they'll just magically become Magneto and just grab you from wherever they want. And coming up, we got a hedge maze we're going to do here. You can actually skip this version if you're playing the NTSC GameCube version, because there's a glitch that allows you to sequence break the castle. It's really cool, but you can only do it in that version of the game, unfortunately. So now, unfortunately, we do have to do the hedge maze. But, I mean, even with that skip and such, you know, this is so much faster. It's like literally almost every other... I'm pretty sure every other version except for the PS2 version is faster than GameCube, so... And that's usually just get counted to, like, loading times and whatever. By the way, we have dogs now that we have to just deal with in the hedge maze. You can just run past them. It's really a shame because they're... Oh, God, that noise is horrifying. They really just want to, you know, be petted. They want to snuggle up with Leon, but... we're kind of in a hurry. We have to save the president's daughter, so we don't really have time for this. Also, like you may have heard my comment, the noise that they make when their tentacles come out of their back is absolutely grotesque and horrifying. Again, we can just run past them. It's not a big deal. Nope, what am I doing? That was bad. Alright, so now we're going on to the next chapter, which is... Oh, hold on. The shortest chapter in the entire game. It's like literally under a minute long, if you played good. And again, I'm going to be kind of safe. I'm going to grab this green herb just in case I need it later on. Oh, what am I doing? I messed up. That's fine. Yeah, we have to shoot that wine glass so that we can open up this door, which would traps us inside with a guard, or which is normally awful, but I mean, we just can get out of here. It's pretty fine. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to charge a PRL shot to kill these enemies. Normally, some people will throw flash grenades instead just to stun them, because it's a little bit faster. But I killed them with a PRL because that also takes care of the lantern in front of that door, so if I get bad enemy RNG here, if I have to fire the PRL, it won't drop on me. And we got really good RNG there, so I can just run past all these enemies. Alright, so that was the shortest chapter in the entire game. And now we get to do the chapter that people probably remember playing casually, where you actually have to rescue, not rescue, but you have to play as Ashley. But first we have to, you know, protect her from these bad guys. So with some carefully placed rockets, we can do that. Now Ashley's is going to head towards the door. One thing about certain weapons in this game is when you fire them, like if a cutscene interrupts them, it'll basically suspend them in midair, like that. So that when the cutscene ends, it will continue to fly forward, and then in this scenario, it will kill the enemies right there. So that's pretty cool. So now you just gotta wait for her to get back. Fire a carefully placed rocket, and boom! So now there's a small little time saver that's oh so glorious. If you shoot Ashley in the middle of this, it'll make her start moving again, instead of waiting on her to finish her dialogue. And it's just great because any chance to shoot Ashley to save time is just fantastic. By the way, if you try to do any attack to Ashley whatsoever when you're playing, when you try to do an attack on Ashley normally, any attack you do, no matter what the damage value, will kill her instantly if it's coming from Leon. But, you know, in this category, you know, Ashley's wearing this full suit of armor, so any attack Leon does doesn't affect her as well, so that's pretty cool. It makes for some amusing times. Oh, jeez. That's fine. So, we only have to open this section halfway. The vertical one we have to open all the way, but the horizontal one we only have to do halfway. And sometimes enemies will just run at you, like, right there. You want them to not do that, obviously, because it's a little faster, you won't get grabbed, but it is what it is. It's not a big deal because they don't take health. You want to be a little more cautious if you're playing on, like, doing a casual playthrough, you're playing New Game Pro, because Ashley can lose health if she's grabbed. So it's just a couple of different puzzle things we have to do. Coming up here is actually like a visual puzzle you have to do. I remember the first time I played this game, this puzzle took me like half an hour to finish, because I'm terrible at puzzles like these. But the actual solution's pretty easy. Like I said, part of the thing here with this game is optimal puzzle solving. That's like one of those things. Obviously, you can do it probably just a little bit faster, but it's harder for me to do it on a keyboard. That doesn't mean I'm going to switch to controller anytime soon. I like playing on keyboard. Alright, so these guys are going to initiate a QTE to attack you. Since I'm wearing a full suit of armor, I won't take damage when I get hit, but the interesting thing about that is it's actually faster to get hit there than it is to dodge the attack. So it kind of works out here because Ashley won't take damage, so you can just let him hit you and it's totally faster. Of course, if you're playing New Game Pro, don't do that. You'll die like almost instantly, I'm pretty sure. So we're about done with this section with Ashley. We're going to meet up with Leon, and it's going to be a very touching reunion. Alright, let's just get to the end of this. Oh, what am I doing? Oh my god, I looked away for a second and I'm running into walls. Like I said, I'm running on 4 hours of sleep. Just give me a break. Alright, so now we're on to 4-1. This is this is one of the longest chapters in the game. And what makes part of the reason why Castle's so long is just because of this alone. So now this is where the castle just stops making sense, because now there's just this weird gear-looking thing driving us over a pool of lava, which every castle is supposed to have, apparently. And it gets even better when we get through this door, because if you think one small pool of lava is cool, just wait till you see this. Because, you know, every you know, castle-owning family in Spain has a gigantic room full of lava, and dragon statues that breathe fire, too. That's pretty cool. Oh, I meant to switch to this. That was silly on my part. So we want to try and do this as fast as we can, because if we get through this section really quickly, we won't have to wait on that merry-go-round thing. I don't know what it's actually called, so I just called it the merry-go-round thing. Oh, my ear is bothering me real quick. Hold on. I had to fix my headset. So we should be fine. I use the PRL here because it just gives me a lot more leeway and a lot more time to actually get to the end and get this fast enough. But you want to kill those enemies, the enemies that are on the way, because otherwise they could easily get in your path and prevent you from missing this. But yeah, I got the good cycle there, so that's pretty nice. Alright, so now we have all 3 of the ornament pieces for the ornament wall at the very beginning of the chapter. I would love for somebody to find a way to skip this. Alright, so we gotta ride this fancy little ride to the beginning of the castle again. You know, they could have easily booby-trapped this and killed Leon and Ashley on there, but no, they just... Why not? Just let them live. Salazar has a lot of fun with Ashley and Leon. It's kind of messed up, but... Alright, so now we're just going to place these in here, so I'm just going to mash the E key for a few seconds. It's the most fun part about the run. That's one thing I also should mention about keyboard and mouse is... Keyboard and mouse, if you're playing this game, is very taxing on your hands because you have to do a lot of, like, menuing and stuff, so that requires a lot of fast movement. I will say it's a little bit easier with the controller, but, you know, once you get used to it, it's not that big of a deal. Alrighty, so... This next section we have to collect 2 goblets to proceed onward. First one is a statue puzzle. Pretty easy. I want to actually stay right there. Because, you know, statue puzzles are a thing that Resident Evil games just love to throw in. Alright. And now, oh my god, there's a ceiling full of spikes, and we're just going to stop it from falling. More reasons why the PRL is just ridiculously broken. And now here comes probably one of the most ridiculous contraptions in this entire castle. Where there's a drill thing that's just conveniently hidden behind a wall. They were just like sitting there waiting and hoping that they would show up at the right time. But that thing just like bursts through a wall which has no visual openings whatsoever, so it's kind of confusing how they're actually able to just know that Ashley and Leon are there. But that's the first goblet. Now we gotta go to the next one. Alright, I'm tired of this planking. Ashley's just going to sit here for a second. And like I said before, you know, getting hit is faster. On normal difficulty right now, you know, Leon's not going to take that much damage. Well, I mean, obviously he's taking a lot. I'm like halfway gone. My health is like halfway gone, but like versus pro difficulty, that thing would kill you really quickly, so... No, I didn't get the... They did not get the herb. That's very unfortunate. I'm just going to have to heal it another time, I guess. I don't mind. Yeah, we're going to use the PRL to take these guys out. There's actually a pretty cool strat you do in New Game, where you'd actually like make the Plagas come out of their helmet and then flash grenade them, and it kills them instantly. But we don't need that because, again, we have the PRL. This thing is just amazing. It was worth playing pro difficulty. So now we're just going to run through this next section. We got to place these goblets. I'm going to pick up this flash grenade just to have an extra one. Ashley's just going to sit there. And that's that. Alright, so coming up is the next instance of No Vistadors. This one is the least problematic, honestly. It's the one that usually doesn't give me any trouble, so cross your fingers that that doesn't actually happen. But they're pretty easy to get past here. But we have to lower this bridge, which is suspended by chains. So in one... Oh, no, we didn't get all of them. That's fine. Oh, damn it. Stay still. Alright, so if you actually fire that carefully, you will actually break all the chains on that bridge and kill every single No Vistador if you aim carefully, but I messed up, so that's not a big deal. But that's the second of third No Vistador encounters. The third one is the absolute worst. Now we're just going to run really fast because the enemy wants to fire artillery at us again. So we're just going to run real quick and get inside this building. Alright, and now we got to go through this real fast. Like I said earlier, the Ditman glitch will allow you to climb certain things faster, like there. And if you do beat the ladder before the camera gets to it, you'll just be able to just continue to start moving while the camera's catching up to Leon. What is going on in the background? Alright, so that's a cool little thing. There's wooden planks that are conveniently jammed in between the gears, so With a carefully placed PRL shot, we can take out every single one of them at once, which is pretty nice. Now, please don't shoot me. Please. Okay, oh my god, that was really close. These archers are pretty random whether or not they're going to actually hit you, like when you land. You don't want them to hit you because you'll lose your Ditman glitch, which you want to just keep. It's a pain to set it up again. And I'm going to be doing a little bit of a safe strat by blowing up this dynamite. Now, please don't grab me. Alright, cool. He didn't grab me. Sometimes if that enemy's in a bad place and you don't move properly, the enemy will grab you. Alright, so those guys are no longer a problem. And we've got... This is actually one of the scariest rooms in the when you play the game in pro difficulty, casually, because those two Gardeors will just bounce you back and forth. The first time I played this casually on pro difficulty, this room took me forever, because those Gardeors are just vicious and they will kill you super quickly. But of course, you know, I just charged my PRL and just gave them the business. So, by the way, this is the chapter at the, or I guess you say this is the point in the game where you would actually be able to buy this striker, which would allow you to do the Ditman glitch, but that's just if you do new game runs. Obviously, like I said, this is New Game Plus, so I've had it from the get-go, but just an interesting little thing. Alright, so now we're going to be chased by some monster thing. I actually don't remember what this enemy's name is. He's just one of Salazar's bodyguards. There is a trick I'm going to try to do once. I'm probably not going to get it. Yeah, I didn't get it. That's fine. Alright, if you time your movements carefully, you can actually dodge that QTE entirely without having to use the command, and you'd be able to keep your Ditman speed. But it's really... God, really? Just chill out, dude. So... It's really hard to do at 60 FPS. It's possible. It's just really hard to do. It's really hard to do no matter what anyways, but I didn't equip PRL. That's bad. That's the enemy, by the way. He's kind of dead now. My menuing for this section has just been really bad. That's fine, though. Alright, so we're going to run as far as we can until this cutscene interrupts us. And we're finally at the end of 4-1. Like I said, it's the longest chapter in the game. This was a pretty sloppy 4-1, I'm not going to lie. I'm not terribly happy with it. Alrighty, so there we go. Now we're on to 4-2, and this is another relatively short chapter. It's not the shortest by any means, but there is one section in this chapter that's just awful. But first, there's a cool little thing you can do here. There's a boulder blocking your way in this section, and the intended way to do it is you're supposed to collect dynamite to blow it apart. There's actually a glitch in certain versions of the game where you can just, well, I think any version of really, you can go out of bounds to skip it, but you can just blow it up with a rocket instead. There's actually, I think it's the NTSC GameCube version is the only version where you can't blow up that boulder with a rocket launcher, which I think is silly. Oh, hold on, my controller almost fell. So we're gonna get to see these big ugly guys right here. There's actually a cool out-of-bounds thing you can do. Oh, shoot, hold on, I need to... This is a problem. The reason that happened is because my controller slipped, so... Oh, no, I don't want to load my game. Sorry about this. This is a small little detour. My controller slipped and it messed up my aim, so it kind of messed up that fight. So we're just gonna do it again real quick. Sorry about that. But yeah, you can actually go out of bounds and skip this fight, but it's not faster in New Game Plus because it's faster just to kill these guys. Assuming the controller doesn't fall out of your lap and completely throw off your aim. Of course, that's kind of important. And now we're going on to my least favorite room in the entire run. This is the last instance of Novistadors, and it is by far the most annoying. Because there are a lot of them, and there's a lot of open spaces, and a lot of random shenanigans that can happen. So I'm going to be a little safe and try and kill as many of them as I can. We have to hit 2 switches in order to expose the door to go to the next section. Alright, Alright, this is decent so far. Nothing bad yet. Oh, that's... Okay, never mind, we're fine. Gonna kill those guys. These guys you have to kill no matter what, because they'll get in the way otherwise. Ah, come on. And we have... Last stretch. Oh, there's so many of them. Yeah, if you get bad RNG like that, it's really hard to get past them without killing them, so you kind of gotta, you know, be careful there. If you get good RNG, you can just usually run past all of them. Alright, so this next section is pretty cool because normally what you're supposed to do is, with these crushers, there's 3 ahead. Up ahead, there's 3 of them, and you're supposed to hit a switch to pause the one in the middle so that you can run past all of them, but again, developers didn't think that Leon would run, you know, 1.5 times faster than he's supposed to, so you can just run through all of them. I should say that this only works if you're holding a grenade, though, because that gives you just enough speed to get through. Because running with a one-handed weapon is faster than a two-handed one by, I think it's like a really small margin. I don't remember the exact amount. Snow told me, but I don't remember what it is. So if the RE4 community is watching, I apologize. Alright, so now we're on 4-3. This is a, it's an okay section. That's all there is to say about it. There's one particular section I really hope something doesn't go badly in, because there's one section with 2 chainsaw enemies, and the other day when I was doing a practice run on stream, I actually died to one of them. That was kind of awful. Alright, come on, just get right past this guy, please. Okay, cool. So we need to get through this mining facility, I guess you could call this caves or whatever you want to call it. First thing we need is a key to get through this room. Gonna be a little careful around here so I don't step on these bear traps. Okay, good. Oh, the guy upstairs is really mad right now, so I gotta be careful. I'm actually gonna be a little cautious here. I don't normally do this, but I'm going to because he moved in a really weird way. Normally you can just run past all those guys, but... Oh, wow, hello, sir. And... Anyways. So I don't think I mentioned something earlier. If you use a key with an action prompt, it'll actually cancel out your Ditman, but if you use a key through your inventory while your Ditman's activated, you will actually keep it, so that's kind of a neat little thing you can do. Oh, I didn't get all of them. Wonderful. That's fine. Ah, get off! Actually doesn't do a lot of damage. Wow, I didn't realize that. That was really sloppy, though. And I dipped into the wrong weapon. Jeez, I need to just... I gotta come up with better backup straps when things like that happen. Alright, so now we're coming on to the minecart, which is a really, really boring section of the game. And anyone who follows my stream knows that this is usually the time when I start telling stories. They're usually pretty fun. Alright, so now it's what I refer to as minecart story time. So, since this is Smash the Record, I think it's appropriate that I tell a Smash-related story. So I'm going to tell you guys about the first time I ever went to a Smash tournament. It's pretty amusing. So, this was when I was just getting into UCF. When I first came over here, I was informed of a gaming tournament that was happening. It was a couple of different fighting games, and one of them was Super Smash Bros. Melee. This is before I actually knew anything like L canceling or wave dashing and the whole shebang with competitive Melee. So I entered that, you know, playing as Captain Falcon, not knowing, you know, all the cool things you can actually do with Captain Falcon. And I was feeling pretty confident because my first match I won against somebody. Obviously it was just like me, didn't really know what they were doing, but it was fun. And I was feeling pretty good. The next person I fight, if you're a Florida player, you might recognize the username. His name is Ace Dude, yeah. And this guy is... He's a pretty interesting fellow. I go onto the set to play him. This kid is wearing gaming gloves, gaming glasses, and a headband. And he's just like looking like he's having the time of his life. And he starts doing this crazy stuff to me. And I'm just like, what is going on? There's this whole different side of Melee I didn't even know existed. And this just weird looking guy is completely trashing me right now. So needless to say, I got 4-stalked and it was pretty bad. But shoutouts to Ace Dude. He's actually a pretty nice guy. But, yeah, it was then that I realized that Melee was something more than I was readily aware of, and then I started playing it. I don't play it super competitively anymore, but it's a fun game to play with people. And shoutouts to you Smash community people. You guys are all really cool. Yeah, though, it's from that point, I started learning more about, you know, what Melee really was being played like. It was eye-opening for me. It was just a fun little time, though. But yeah, that was the first time I ever entered a Smash tournament in anything, and needless to say, it was fun. Anyways, so now we're just coming towards the end of the minecart section, which is pretty fun. I love this part so much. You'll see why when I get there. First, we just gotta kill these guys because they're the last sets of enemies. You can actually, most people will use the PRL instead of the Chicago typewriter. It's really, I don't think there's any real difference. It's not any bit faster to me. It's fine either way. Yeah, this is your reload animation with this costume with the Chicago typewriter, and if you do it 4 times in a row, my lady. Alright, so now we defy all laws of physics by jumping out of a minecart going that fast and grabbing onto a really fragile-looking ledge made of wood. But somehow we're fine because we're Leon Scott Kennedy. Yeah, it was. Thank you. Anyways, so there's a Stone of Sacrifice. That's what we had to go through this entire minecart section to get in order to progress to the last chapter of Castle. It would be really cool if somebody found a way to, you know, glitch this and get through here. There's actually, if anyone's interested in glitch hunting, there's a list of bounties for Resident Evil 4 that people are looking for and will be willing to give you money for. If you can find a way to skip the ornament wall in Castle, there's actually a $1,500 bounty on it. So that's how hard it has been to find something. If you find something that's consistent, you could be very wealthy. You could buy so much gum with that, seriously. Alright, so now we're going to the last, as like I said, this is the last chapter. This section right here is just a lot of movement and shooting enemies. But there's this gigantic, like, statue doll thing of Salazar, because, you know, his ego wasn't big enough already. And we're going to shoot that to activate the next set of his other arms to start moving, and it also rockets the other hand straight upward. So while that's going... Oh, hello, sir. Go. Anyways, hold on one second. My controller fell again. I just need to put this thing on the table. Anyways. Oh, okay. That was close. That was really close. That could have gone really badly. Oh, there's like 5,000 pesetas laying around. Alright, I actually do need the controller now because this is another thing I use the controller for. This QTE is really hard to do on keyboard because you have to mash ridiculously fast. While this gigantic, goofy-ass doll of Salazar is chasing you. Okay, come on, let's go. Alrighty, so now I just gotta focus a little bit. Okay. That QTE is so taxing. Alright, so now we're going to head up this thing to... Oh, wait, hold on. It's faster to do this, I was right. Less inventory I have to do. So we're just going to go up these staircase and take a lift to get to the top of the castle, which is where we're going to fight Salazar. So we have to clear off these gigantic boxes on this lift because this section you actually have to have a certain weight limit, otherwise it won't keep going up. So we're going to be spending the rest of this ride shooting everything with a PRL. There's going to be enemies that start falling from the sky, so we just got to kind of aim upward. And as they approach us, I'm actually going to kind of listen in so I can hear them. While I'm here, by the way, you know, you see all these super powerful weapons and whatnot. I should emphasize that New Game Plus, despite having all this stuff, is not like a super easy thing to do. It's still a very, very difficult category, because this category is basically all execution, with obviously, you know, a few things of RNG, but it's not nearly as RNG heavy as like New Game Pro. It's still a very challenging, you know, run to do. Just because you have all these weapons doesn't mean it's easy by any stretch of the imagination. Oh, I let 2 of them on there. I thought we were good. Never mind. Alright. So now we're going to approach the boss fight with Salazar. At 30 FPS, there's a really, really difficult but really cool skip you can do in this boss. Again, you can't do it at 60, so we're just going to kill him, which is a little bit slower, but, you know, again, 60 FPS advantages. Everything else is faster. And this is one of the only bosses we can't really effectively use the PRL for, so we're just going to unload on him. But yeah, the reason the PRL is not really good for that is because it actually doesn't lock onto Salazar. You actually have to manually aim it anyways. So it's faster just to do it with the Chicago typewriter. It's also fun because Salazar's a really annoying villain, and just firing endless bullets into his face is just the most satisfying feeling. Alright, so now we're at the end of Castle. What's my time right now?
Hour 30.
Oh, shoot. What?
Hour and 30 seconds.
Oh, God, I thought you went like an hour and 30 minutes. I'm like, there's no way that's possible. I did not mess up that badly. I was hoping I would get sub 1 hour on Castle, but that's fine. There's a lot of mistakes, and it's fun. It's a fun run, and that's what's important. It's for charity, people. For the kids! Alright. So this is another section with a really infamous glitch at 30 FPS that lets you skip this entire section. Again, 60 FPS means we can't do it. Like I said, if I have time afterwards, maybe I'll show it off, because it's really easy to do, but you don't want to use it in this run, because at 60, it's not you can't do it. So you have to do a different strategy for this section. It's not terribly hard, but you got to be a little careful.
Just as a note, we will have time.
Oh, perfect. I can show off a bunch of cool stuff then.
There's nothing scheduled on the stream afterwards.
Oh, cool. Anyway, so we're just going to flash enemies so they don't get in the way. This is basically your, as I've said before, your main tool for compensating enemy RNG. Because if they're blinded, they're not going to do anything to you. Alright, this is another section I do with controller just because it's really, really slow to turn this thing with the mouse. Its controls are just awful. Oh, don't hit me. Oh, come on, really? It's like the one thing I asked you to not do. Also using God frames there so I don't get hit. I'm glad that actually worked. Oh, come on. Thank you. Yeah, so obviously this is slower than skipping the whole thing, which it sucks because I can't do it, but... Oh wow, there are a lot of enemies coming at me. That's not even an issue. Alright, hopefully we can get to this ladder and not get grabbed by this enemy up ahead. It's going to be a really tight window if it happens. Okay, there we go. That guy was just ready to grab me. Alright, so, come on. There's an enemy up ahead with a rocket launcher, and I'm really offended that he would just point it at me, so I'm just going to slap him in the face and proceed. You actually have to be careful, because if you don't take care of that guy, he'll probably shoot you with a rocket, and those do a lot of damage to you. Also, most other rocket launcher enemies, especially, I think it's like the ones in the castle section in particular, they all have like, except for that one, they all have like health values of about 1, so any attack will kill them. That like is one of the later game exceptions. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but that's what I recall. Alright, so time for the most arbitrary jump scare in the history of video games. I actually screwed up my position, so I actually got grabbed. That was really stupid. So the first thing oh, really? Okay, so I messed that up. I missed my position, so I just used God frames to not get hit there. So now coming up here is one of my favorite tricks in the entire game, which is called Garage Skip. There's this garage door full of enemies, and you're supposed to kill the waves of them one at a time in order for it to stay open and for you to get to the next section. But we dip and we can run right through it. So that's one of my favorite tricks in the game. It's so simple, but it's just so satisfying. Alrighty. So now we have this light-based puzzle here. It's kind of, the controls for it are kind of jank. Oh, there we go. I accidentally hit it too much. That's fine. Like, it's not super consistent when you mash it and when it allows you to hit the button again. It's really weird. It's like, it's not even a hard puzzle. It's just really weird. Fun fact, though, that puzzle actually has 2 solutions. That one I just did, though, is the faster one. Because the other solution, you actually have to switch every single panel to do. Oh yeah, by the way, that's the Regenerator. That's another enemy that's introduced. It's actually one of the creepiest enemies in the entire game. Because there's 2 ways to kill the Regenerator. I messed this up. There's 2 ways to kill the Regenerator, which one way is to do a ton of damage to it at once. And the other way is to use the infrared scope to shoot the parasites inside of its body. Because they're called Regenerators because if you keep shooting them, they're just going to regenerate. So the name is pretty honest. I did it again, darn it. Alrighty. Oh my goodness, what is going on over there? Alright, so I'm going to stun these guys just to make them not get in the way. Oh, wonderful! The enemy I wanted to make sure got stunned didn't get stunned. Yeah, one enemy in particular in this run. Woo! Sorry, that was really loud. I apologize, but I was really excited. We reached 5,000. You guys are awesome. Anyways, so... what was I don't even remember what I was saying. Alright, so this section here, I'm actually going to dip into the rocket launcher, not because it's faster, it's actually, like, not even fast to do this. I just do it because it makes running past the enemies significantly easier. But we need the rocket launcher for this next section here, because as I said, Regenerators have 2 ways of dying. Shooting the parasites are doing a lot of damage. The rocket launcher does a lot of damage, so... I also should have warned you guys, this game is rated M because there's a lot of violence, so if, you're not used to that kind of thing, I suggest you don't watch this game. I know it's a little late to be saying that, but... Alrighty, so now we've got one last section here to get past. Like I said, I'm really just... Dimming is fast, but it's really just to get past everything. No! Don't you dare do that. What I was going to say, actually, now that I remember it, was one of the hardest attacks to dodge at 60 FPS is the flail. That thing is just impossible to dodge when you run at it. You can run at it at 30 and dodge it fairly... Well, I shouldn't say fairly easy. It's still pretty hard, but it's a lot easier at 30 than it is at 60. Alright, so that's that chapter. We have Ashley yet again. Hoorah. And we've got this one section here. I really hope Ashley doesn't panic over unconscious bodies, because she will do that. Oh, wonderful. Alright, so that's good. So we're gonna get through here. Oh, hopefully Ashley will distract these enemies. I kind of had a bad position there. Okay, whew, that's fine. She didn't distract them, but I was able to get past them. But again, we can leave Ashley behind because this is a cutscene that's triggered without her.
What is that thing?
I also like how Ashley oh, what are you doing? Okay, sometimes she'll do this. This has only happened like twice to me, where she will go to the wrong side of this thing and start pushing in empty air. That's actually really funny that that happened, because I've only had that happen twice. Oh, I missed that horribly. Wow. STR 2015, guys. Anyway. I mean, that wasn't luck. I just missed. Alright, so now we're going to this one. Alright, so this next section, I have another puzzle I have to do that involves a wrecking ball. It's kind of slow and kind of dumb, but whatever. And I also forgot to equip a flash grenade. I kind of need these.
Look, there's a gate here.
At this point in the run, you're going to see that I have significantly less stuff in my inventory than what I started with. I mashed too hard. Wonderful. Like, I only have 4 flash grenades left. I'm going to have 3 for the very last chapter of the game. But my inventory's looking pretty empty. And of course, we have to hit it 3 times to reveal a hidden wall. Because, you know, you need a... what? Somebody's gonna give me problems. 3 is just enough, you know, to reveal that door. It is totally functional after being rammed by a cannon, or, you know, wrecking ball. Alright, come on. Oh man, something hype is going on over in the versus boot camp stream right now. Wait. Alright, so we have to now get Ashley to crawl under that space for us. I'm gonna try something real quick here. Hopefully it works. Alright, sweet. Dodged. The optimal thing to do there is dodge so that the enemy... Or dodge the attack so that the you can get past that enemy. I totally messed that strategy up, by the way. It's faster, actually, if you get Ashley to come out of the... Or tell Ashley to follow you after she hits the switch, because she'll clip right through that door. But I messed it up. Alright, so now here's another really arbitrarily slow section, except now Ashley magically knows how to drive a bulldozer. That's incredible. Actually, can somebody in the crowd go get me some water? I'm really thirsty. Anyways, this section's really, really dumb. All you're doing is riding a truck or bulldozer and... Oh my god, the hero of the day. I'm so thirsty right now. I hope... Oh, come on. Bad timing. Alright, so yeah, like I said, there's literally nothing but waves of enemies coming at us. We're just gonna kill them. There's actually... I think there's a guy... Oh, yeah, there's a guy just kind of struggling on the corner. That happens sometimes with enemies. Where? Oh, there. Okay, there was a guy behind me. That was a thing that happened. All right, so now here comes the biggest mystery of the entire game, coming up here in about like 15 seconds or something like that. The one thing that's never answered in Resident Evil 4: where did this truck come from? There is literally nowhere this truck could have possibly come from. But you know, they said, "Hey, you remember that truck gimmick we totally did in 2-3? Yeah, let's go ahead and bring it back, because that was cool." Alright, so of course, you know, shooting it at once wasn't enough, so now this thing is coming at us full flames. Now it's enough to stop it. Oh, how did you get out of this? Don't tell me that's going to cancel that out and he's going to jump on here. That would be just terrible. Okay, thank goodness. Alrighty. So now we got a small little thing that we have to take care of because Ashley's going to leave it to us. So we're just gonna dip in here real quick to the typewriter. And we use the typewriter just because it's easier to deal with all these enemies right here. Or I use it there anyways because I like doing it anyways. It's more fun that way. I don't remember if it's actually like faster or not, but it's pretty useful. Also, if an enemy gets in the way, you can just shoot them. Like I said, the typewriter is really fast aiming. That's what you get for screaming so much. God, that's so annoying. Yeah, don't do that if you're actually playing without that costume because she'll actually die. Alrighty. So now we're just going to get through the rest of this with the Chicago typewriter just because I don't want to use the menu to get another weapon. And there's actually a really, really important RNG manipulation trick I'm going to be doing with equipping this as opposed to using like the PRL or something. But it's very important. It's like a frame-perfect trick, so you just got to pay attention when it happens. Oh, there's a Plagas there. There you go. The Plagas in this category don't really pose a problem in any scenario. In New Game, they're really annoying to deal with, though, because when they decide to come out of an enemy's head is totally random. But in this one, you know, you have more than enough tools. Guys, be quiet. Seriously, this is important. I need to focus. There's a truck coming right at us. I need to shoot this first. Wait for it. There we go. By the way, I lied about the whole RNG manipulation thing. That just looks cool. Alright. And so that's the end of this chapter. We're on 5-3. 5-3 has two sections in particular that have killed runs for me, and I hope to God it doesn't happen. I actually lost a really good pace the other day to the 5-3. It's awful. Don't ever watch my PB for it because it's really sad. Anyway, so now we just need to walk through this section because it's not really worth it to dip in here. But we're going into what might be one of everyone's favorite scenes in the entire game. And it's literally the only cutscene in the game you can't actually skip, other than really small ones. This is the only really major cutscene you can't skip, and that's fine because it's a very, very, very important cutscene. Oh yeah, and by the way, in case you didn't notice, in cutscenes, Leon magically changes clothes back to his normal outfit. I've seen this cutscene so many times. You can't skip it. But yeah, the guys who developed this game were like, you know that QTE thing we've been doing through the entire game? Let's just make an entire cutscene out of it. That's going to be really cool.
2 years ago. Is that what they told you? You're the one who kidnapped Ashley. You got young quick, as expected. After all, you and I both know where we come from.
But I use a controller for this section specifically for the last QTE.
What do you want?
It's also the last time I'm going to use a controller in this run.
The sample Sadler developed, that's all.
But the only reason I use this for the very last event, which is mashing two different buttons, and I do it because it's easier to see the X and the A button than it is to see the key on the keyboard it wants you to do.
American. You got her involved just for that?
All right. Just look at how unfazed he is by that, though. All right, just be ready because they're about to spew out some really pointless plot device that goes absolutely nowhere into later games.
All for Umbrella's sake. Umbrella? Almost let it slip. Enough talk. Die, comrade.
All right. Yeah, it's much easier to see X and A because of the colors than it is to see the keyboards. All right. I'm going to follow the tradition of what's cool to do when you do this section. I have a few seconds to kill, so I'm just going to take a selfie real quick.
Looks like we have the upper hand here.
Wait, hold on. Where is the button? There we go.
You may be able to prolong your life, but it's not like you can escape your inevitable death, is it?
All right, cool. I'll be posting that on Twitter later.
You knew each other?
It's actually a horrible picture. My face looks so bad.
It's about time you told me the reason why you're here.
Maybe some other time.
Oh yeah, and then there's Ada. She's gonna be a mystery like she is in literally every single game she exists in. Alright, so coming up here is a pretty interesting little thing. If you just walk forward after canceling this cutscene with a grenade equipped, you can just walk past those lasers. Any other weapon and any other occurrence of that, you would have to actually be careful. Alright, so this is dangerous, but Leon Scott Kennedy is the danger, so he's just going to run towards it. As if this game couldn't prove the fact that it's not a survival horror game anymore, it just throws that last thing in there. Oh wait, hold on. This is important, I forgot. Alright. Oh, what am I doing? That's the wrong door. Well, guys, I don't do that. Come on, I'm doing this for the sake of, you know, jokes. Stop telling me how to play the game. Alright, so now we're coming up in one of the more annoying sections. Or, well, not annoying. This is actually a pretty fun section, but I have lost runs to this part. Just because if you mess up one little thing, it can really backfire on you. But the man, whatever's going on next door is just so exciting. I really wish I knew what it was. Oh, that's exactly why everyone's getting excited. Alright, so now we're going on to U3, which is a very, very fun execution-heavy section. Gotta be a little careful, though, in this part, because if you mess up one thing, like I said, it'll backfire on you pretty bad. But if you Ditman past things without messing up your movement too badly, you can actually dodge whatever attack he's throwing out at you, like that, instead of having to do the QTE. Please, Leon. Alright. So we're gonna just inch forward here and shoot these things preemptively so we can just run past, this, wait, what is it? This guy once again. We don't actually have to shoot him this time, we just need to be careful. Okay, yep, we got past him, that's good. Yeah, this boss is incredibly exploitable. I was actually worried he was gonna hit me there. So another little cool thing we can do in this section is we can fire an explosive in this area, and it will shoot the switch from the other side. So that saves a little bit of this puzzle right here. And of course I still have the rocket launcher because it's going to be very useful here in a few seconds. But yeah, he just got even uglier, but we can again just run past him because this boss's AI is really good. Alright. And now we actually have to fight this thing. Alrighty. Yeah, that boss fight was terribly short, sorry. Anyways. So now we're just gonna run to the end. There's one more major obstacle in this chapter, which will be coming up here shortly. Not in this next room, but the room after it. But I'll let it speak for itself when it happens. Alright, so there's a really small chance that an enemy could be on the other side of this tent ready to hit me with a flail. So hopefully that doesn't happen because he'll blindside me. Okay, that was good. Alright, there is also the merchant. Again, we don't talk to him. And now we're going on to the section I was talking about. This part is, you gotta be a little careful because you're basically, oh, wait, no, I want this. No, I don't want that. Jesus. Alright, there we go. Why do I still have that stupid handgun ammo in there? Anyways, so we're going to run through this section to trigger this whole part, which is just dealing with Krauser. He's going to be shooting and attacking us through each section. And hold on one second. So we're going to do a cool little trick here where we stagger ourselves with an explosive. And that will prevent his flash grenade from blinding us. It's a little bit faster. Kind of cool little thing you can do there. But yeah, there's a couple of little things we have to do in this. We have to collect pieces of a puzzle. Oh shoot, I thought that was going to hit me. And to do that, we just have to progress from each section. You're supposed to fight Krauser, but if you Ditman, you can just get past him most sections. This is one of those places where you can't do that, though. There we go, got it. Alright, so now we gotta do a small statue puzzle here. Hopefully I got this. Oh, I didn't get it. That's fine, whatever. There's a really fast solution to this puzzle, but it's kind of hard to do. But I didn't get it, and that's whatever. Alright, cool. Yeah, by the way, if you push statues while you're using the Ditman glitch, you'll clip through them. It doesn't really do anything to the game because you're still pushing it at the same, or you're still pushing it, and it won't like push you through walls or anything like that. All right, so these little drones now, they're all really easy to get past. Hopefully, as long as I don't mess up my movement here, I should be fine. Oh, cool. That was close. All right, so we're going to get me one last time. And get to this very top section, because now this will lead us to the second of third emblems. And if you've ever seen the cutscene, you know there's 2 A's to collect, and Krauser has the last one.
Prepare for your death, Leon.
See, he says this right now, but just give it a second and see what happens. Oh, good, I got the fast Krauser. Sweet. All right, so yeah, that's the Krauser boss fight. It's terribly anticlimactic because you can just flash your PRL at him and he dies. If he doesn't run at you, though, you actually have to be careful because if you time it wrong, he'll actually have invincibility frames and he'll kick you, and then it just makes it unnecessarily, like, longer. Alright, so now we are going on to everyone's favorite part of the game, which is 5-4. This is, if there's any section where RNG is just readily apparent, it's this section right here, because this part is just unforgiving at times. There's just so many things that can happen that you can't really deal with unless you're super careful. And there's a guy in a helicopter named Mike who's going to be shooting at various parts of this level, but... Oh, I lost my... I got hit, whatever. See, that's getting hit there is one of those things that's kind of random. I meant to dip into that. But Mike will shoot at random parts of the level, and sometimes this will be cool, other times it'll be really annoying and it just wastes time. Wait, hold on. Did you just see that arrow that's just suspended in there? Can we just look at that for a second? I can easily say that's a first. Like I said, STR 2015, everyone. Oh, come on. See, this is that RNG I was talking about. Sometimes you'll get hit there, even if you're moving at, like, super fast speed. And there's, like, really nothing you can do about it. If it happens, it happens. You must accept your fate. Alright. Oh, no, he's gonna start shooting at me. Wonderful. Alright, cool. So the first half of that was kind of bad. Hopefully the second half makes up for it. That's very unlikely, though. Because there's a very, wait, hold on. This is what I need. There's a very difficult shot I'm going to try and make with the PRL, but we'll see what happens. Oh, come on, really? Okay, there we go. Alright, so let's get it, please. I totally didn't get that at all. Wow, that's awful. Oh, no, I don't want the keys and treasure. Oh, God! Where did that come from? Alright, so I'm just going to be a little careful here. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just continue to get hit. That's fine. Oh, thank you, Mike. Actually, he shot a... That's actually Mike being really good to me right there. He just shot the second fortress on the other side, which will allow me to get down it much faster. So that's kind of nice. Good boy, Mike. Considering how bad this airfield's gone already, I'll take whatever I can at this point. Also, the other nice thing about him shooting that is if there's enemies on the other side, they won't blindside me. That's something that can happen very easily. Alright. Oh, there's an enemy there. Wonderful. Actually, I'm fine. This shouldn't be a problem. Alright. So we managed to make it through the airfield. Yay! But unfortunately, Mike dies. Sorry. Yeah, in this point in the story, you know, Mike's takes care of all these enemies, and then they decide to shoot him with an RPG. It's a really sad story, but Mike's really annoying, so it's not a big deal. We can move on. Anyways, we're on to the last major part of 5-4, and also really the last big room in the game, to be honest. We're almost at the end of Resident Evil 4, guys. That's pretty cool. Can you believe it? Oh my god, I don't even want to see that time. Anyways... No, don't. Yeah, don't worry. I don't need to worry about this. This run's been fun. That's all that matters. For the kids. Alrighty, so now we're going to do, like I said, the last major section of 5-4 and one of the last real rooms of the game. That's kind of problematic. There's a little bit of... This is another section that's kind of random. You see those arrows that are flying behind me? I can't tell if they're actually going to hit me or not because they're behind me. But there's also a lot of enemies. Oh, come on. This guy has a key that I need. Oh, good. Okay. Oh, no. That's good and bad RNG simultaneously. Amazing how that works. No, Mike. Oh, no. Alright. Alright, so... That was good RNG because... Oh, wow. That was close. That was good RNG because... The door stayed open when I went to go get it after I got the key, but it was kind of bad because I killed a bunch of enemies and triggered JJ. JJ is the name of that guy with a chain gun, by the way. According to the bottle cap collection in Resident Evil 4 when you complete that minigame. Oh, there's so many guys in here. What the heck? Alright, so we're just gonna Oh, wow, I guess we're not going to dodge that. That was really good. Oh, okay. No, that's fine. That was an intentional damage boost. We're fine. Actually, I need to heal up so I don't stagger my way to the end of the game. I'm actually going to equip the grenade here, too, while I'm at it. I think the biggest problem I had with this run overall is that my menuing was really, like, mediocre for most of it. I was doing some really weird stuff. Alright. Oh, you are... Sir, calm down. He's never actually run at me like that. That's really unfortunate. But now we are at the very last chapter of the game. It all comes down to one final boss fight and then an escape sequence. Be prepared because we have to fight Salazar. You know, he's the big villain of this all, and we know we need to have a convincing final showdown, and I messed up really badly. Say cheese. Final boss of the game, everyone. Alrighty. But yeah, like somebody rudely spoiled what's about to happen next. Thank you, whoever did that. We're about to go ride a jet ski. So we're going to leave Ashley a bit behind because we want to go check out this jet ski real quick. But of course, we can't just leave Ashley behind. We actually have to have her come next to us. So, we're going to just reload the checkpoint. It's a little faster to do this. And if you know any of the glitches are worth showing off in this game, it's this one.
Hang on, sweetheart.
Alright, this part is now just getting to the end. There's nothing exciting happening. You can all stop clapping. Reverse Psychology 101, everyone.
He's about to. Hey, let me know when there's time.
I will. Alrighty. It's funny, I actually lost a run running into a wall once. It was really bad. Alright. Azzy, get ready on that timer. And time. Alright.
Your time was 1:31:43.
That's about what I expected, so that's good. I'm actually pretty happy with that. Considering all the mistakes, that's not too bad. Now wait, hold on, it's not over. We gotta see what the in-game time says. That's the important stuff. If anyone wants to stick around, though, I'm gonna show off one of the glitches that I talked about in 30 FPS, since we have the time to do it. Alright, what was my in-game time? That's what we go by competitively. 1:31:33. Okay, cool. No. Not gonna upload the leaderboards. Alright. So, yeah, like I said, this game has settings for both 30 and 60 FPS. Why you would play on 30 is beyond me, but anyways, let me just show off one of the sections in 30. Oh, look at this, is so ugly looking. Jeez. I'm gonna show off a couple of glitches you can do in 30 FPS. That's pretty cool. This glorious 30 frames per second. Wow. So this one is this is going to show off the glitch we can do in this section that you wouldn't normally do at 60. It's actually pretty funny. I hope I can get it. I haven't done this in so long. Oh, I didn't get it. That's fine. Hold on one second. Let me try again. Okay. Oh, really? What am I doing wrong? I haven't done this in a while. Hold on. I promise it'll happen. It'll be cool. This should work. There we go. This'll work. Alright. Wait, where is it? What direct? Okay, it's this way. Okay, cool. No! I think I messed it up. No, I'm fine. Never mind. Actually, no, I'm not fine. Leon is trapped in the floor. That's bad. Yeah, normally you would actually, you know, be on the right amount of geometry and you'd be able to climb that ladder. Let me show off another one that's pretty cool. Which is, on 2-1. This is so hard to play at 30 FPS. Like, I don't want to sound like a snob, but I'm going to sound like a snob anyways. It's really awful. So we're just gonna get to it real quick. Oh, did I not get Ditman there? Oh yeah, that's right. You don't get it until after. That's right. Alright. But yeah, this glitch is actually, that I'm gonna do, is a skip that's cool. It's faster, but it's also really risky. So I'm gonna show what happens. Hopefully I'll show what happens when you get it right, and I also want to show what happens when you get it wrong. Because when you get it wrong, it's pretty great. Wow, there's so much load time difference between menus. This is weird. Oh, what am I doing? I didn't use the PRL. Wow. Silly me. This should be fine, though. This isn't serious time. Oh, really? I didn't... Oh, no, there he is. Okay, cool. I'm just going to do this to trigger a checkpoint. Oh, wait. Did I get this wrong? Probably. Alright, did I get it right? Oh, that's what happens when you screw it up. You fall infinitely to the abyss. This soft locks the game. You can't actually do this. This is why I did this, so I'm hopefully going to get it right this time. But a lot of runs will just end there because you mess it up. Again, this is something that only works in 30 FPS. There we go. This is what would happen. Oh, never mind. I got pushed back in bounds. That's stupid. Alright. Come on, please. Is this gonna work? Nope, it's not. Alright. Well, you go out of bounds and you go around that thing. Anyways, I'm done.